And if I didn't already tell you, you have to make sure you keep stirring your noodles because they stick, because they're so big, they stick together really tight, and then they don't cook. So make sure that they're always separated. I mean, you can leave them for a couple minutes, but especially in the beginning, in the very beginning, keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring, and separating them. I'm sure you know how to make pasta, but these noodles, because they're so big, they stick really, I mean, like glue, like cement. And then you can't use them because they're not cooked. I guess you could use them. They might cook in the oven, but it's hard to lay them out. You can't lay them out when they're all stuck together. Anyway, I'll be back. So the noodles are soft. They're pliable. And you know they're done when they're just soft, but this one's like already kind of falling apart, which I don't want it to do, so I gotta rinse them out with cold water. So this part's a little tricky because it's freaking hot, but you just want to rinse them out and kind of turn them. Ooh, that's hot. And get them to stop cooking. So flip, you gotta be real gentle with them because they tear real easy. You can still use them when they're torn, but like this one's already torn. That makes me sad. But just move them around a little. Get water all through them so that they stop cooking. It's even still warm at the very bottom. But see, this one's already tearing too. It's still usable, but just be careful. Gentle hands. And get water all through them. You got to use them pretty quick because they'll start sticking together like glue. So I'm going to turn this off and we'll get together. Just put them together, I mean. Okay, we're ready. My noodles are done. So you put sauce in the bottom of the pan a little bit just so they won't stick. And even though I always said, and this is just like how you do enchiladas so it doesn't stick in the bottom. And even though I said don't use pre-grated cheese, it's a lot of cheese when you make lasagna, so this one is good. It's from Costco, and they don't put so much coating on the cheese, and it melts really well. But I mean, you can use pre-grated if you want, or not. It's up to you. I'm doubling this recipe because I'm making, like I said, one for you, one for your brother. So I actually doubled my ricotta filling. I used 2 of those big containers of ricotta, but we're going to start putting it together. So I have my lasagna noodles, and these pans take 3 or 4 on the bottom. You want to just overlap them just a little bit, especially the bottom layer because that's like your base. So this is how it looks. So you just kind of overlap them just a little bit, okay? And like I said, I know this pan very well, so I just make that really good, a good bottom base. Then we're gonna spread the ricotta mixture on the bottom. That might be a lot. You can use a spoon or a fork or whatever works best. It doesn't have to be perfect. I used to cut all these noodles off the edge to make it a perfect square, but I've gotten over my anal tendencies. And wasting is not a good thing. So just spread it a little. You don't want it to be too heavy because this really gets heavy. And when this melts, it'll melt a little bit. You just kind of want a ricotta in every bite. Okay? Then you get your sauce and just make a layer of sauce. Just spread it around. On the edges is where it's missed a lot, so just kind of get it on the edges, in the corners. You don't need a whole lot at all. And then your cheese. A layer of ricotta, sauce, and cheese. And that's it. You do this until it's full. Okay? We're going to do that a few more times. We got, and like I said, I'm trying to work a little bit fast so the noodles don't get stuck together. You can always put a little bit of oil in the noodles and stir them around so they're coated just a little, but you don't have to. And I always keep a wet rag because you always need to wipe your hands. Got ricotta. And I used to know this girl in high school, and she made the best lasagna. And she didn't make a tomatoey sauce. All she did was use 2 packages of sausage, 2 big cans of diced tomatoes, the fennel, of course, and salt and pepper. And that was her sauce. And she did the ricotta with the egg, and that was it. She didn't put spinach, but I like the spinach. I put spinach in everything as much as I can. Just a couple of tablespoons of sauce, or a couple of ladles of sauce. And cheese. So if you were to do just one of these pans, you just need the one thing of ricotta, maybe 1 egg, and 1 package of noodles. It's a 1 pound package. And some people like to put their noodles crisscross. So like this is going this way on the first layer. Some people will do it this way on the next layer just to make it kind of, I guess, more durable when you cut it so it doesn't fall apart. But as long as you're layering your noodle over each other, it'll be fine. Kind of bring it up the side a little. And this can be really easy or it can be really hard. So I made the sauce from scratch. You can use jar sauce if you're in a rush. You know, you don't have to add all the ingredients that I do. If you don't have spinach, don't add spinach. If you don't have the Parmesan, you don't have to add Parmesan. You know, there's a million ways to do it. There's really no wrong way, however you like it. This is just the way I've always made it, and I like it this way. So we're gonna finish this one and this one for your brother, and we're gonna bake. So I'm down to my last layer. Okay, that has the ricotta, the sauce, and just a little bit of the mozzarella. The last layer is only gonna be noodle, sauce, and cheese. So in between there's a light layer of mozzarella in between each layer. And then on top it's just sauce and a big thick layer of cheese. So this one, I want it to go right to the edges. So this one is a little long. I'm gonna snip it off. I don't want it to overhang because then it gets crunchy. Unless you like the little crunchy top, that's fine. So I just kind of tuck in the corners. And this is all just sauce and cheese. Maybe a little bit more. And it's gonna rise when you bake it. So you might want to put a baking sheet underneath if you don't want to get your oven like really dirty. Tuck that guy in there. Tuck that in there. Okay, we got sauce. I like sauce on the edges because that's where I say it gets dried out. So that is just sauce and lots of cheese on top. Ooh, yum. If you make one of these, probably one ball, one mozzarella ball, which I think is a pound, is gonna do you good. So I'm gonna let this sit for just a minute so it can settle. But that's your dish of lasagna. Okay. Bake at 325, probably an hour. If it looks like it's starting to get dried out, cover it with foil, but you want the inside to cook. So that's why, even though the outside looks a little drier, you want the inside to really cook and melt that cheese. So I'm gonna put this 350 for, I'm gonna check it after like 45 minutes. And if it looks like it's getting too brown on top, I'll put foil on it, and then maybe like another extra 15 minutes. But that's it. We'll come back and see the finished product. Okay, so this is what I did. I put them on a cookie sheet lined with foil because they are gonna overflow. See how tall they are? And I'd rather spend more time eating than cleaning. So this is just a simple trick I do. Put them in the oven and they'll be ready. My kitchen is clean. Everything's put away. I have some extra sauce for the end product. And we're just gonna clean up a little bit and have some lasagna. Like I said, 325 for, I don't know, check it after 45 minutes and it should be good. When you do get it out of the oven, you have to let it sit. Hello. You have to let it sit for at least 15 minutes so that it'll settle, because if you start slicing into it when it's right out of the oven, all the cheese is just gonna ooze out. Or is that ooze out? So you wanna let it sit and let it just cool for like, 15, 20 minutes. When you cut it, it'll stay together. Okay, so we're gonna cook.
Yes. Thanks.
Okay, the end product.
Me too.
And you love and honor each other as husband and wife for the rest of your life?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Here we go. Ooh, hot. Here's the one. And there's a two. There you have it, Joe. So like I said, let it sit at least 15 minutes. Cut it and it won't ooze all over. Okay? This looks so fabulous. Love you.